Grocery store chain Giant Foods president says thieves are stealing everything from shrimp to deodorant and warns some grocery stores could close. When's the last time we had a major CEO of a big company make that warning? How about Walmart? Yeah. And then what they do after that? They went on a run of closing stores, didn't they? Is that what we're going to see from Giant Foods? I don't know. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Another retailer is threatening to close stores due to theft. This time it's Giant Food, which operates about 170 stores in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C. Giant President Ira Kress told Washington, D.C. radio station WTOP on Monday that thieves are stealing everything from shrimp to deodorant and Giant stores. In response, the chain has placed many items under lock and key, forcing customers to ask for an employee's help. That is the most annoying thing ever. And it has pushed me to just buy more stuff online. I don't know about you. I'm not really a fan of doing that. Although, we're all stuck doing something we don't like. It's like, I want to contribute to local business. Well, it's more expensive there, so I'm going to buy it on Amazon. That's not good. And you go to your local grocery store and stuff is just locked up. Home Depot. Can I get this little thing here? No, it's locked up. You gotta get some help. Kress said he's worried about violence at Giant stores. All right, we got shoplifting and we got violence. Yep, we know that's a thing. What we always must do is ensure that we can run our stores safely and profitably, Kress said to WTOP. If I can't do both of those things, I'll have no choice but to close a store. This clearly takes a toll. Kress didn't say which stores might close. Reminds me of Howard Schultz, CEO, former CEO of, I can't remember. He's been brought back and forth so many times on the whole Starbucks thing, but he was like, in talking with actual employees of Starbucks, I didn't realize this, but their safety is top of the list of concerns that they have of working at our Starbucks stores. It's their personal safety. That's because so many of these stores are located in downtown areas that have just been overrun with crime, homelessness, people on drugs. You get that kind of gritty downtown atmosphere for these stores. And they've closed down stores. Amazon Go just closed down the second store that they opened up in downtown Seattle. It was on, was it on 5th and I can't remember, 5th and something, really close to the Blade in downtown Seattle. They closed that bad boy down. I mean, this is what's happening, and this is going to continue to happen unless some of these political leaders can start to get a handle on actually prosecuting some of this crime. Got to throw some people in jail. You got to put some laws on the books that make this stuff stick, but we're not going that direction. We're actually going the other direction. Drugs are fine. Drugs are fine. What are you talking about? That's what Seattle City Council did a couple of weeks ago. They're good. Don't worry about it. Nothing bad will happen. To deter theft, Giant has also limited the number of items that customers can buy at once through its self-checkout lanes to 20, Kress said. Is there somebody there counting? If there's somebody there counting how many items you have, they can be checking your stuff out. If I have like one or two items to check my stuff out, I'm okay doing that. I'm okay doing somebody else's job. I should get a discount though. I should get like a 5% discount for doing somebody else's job. But when I've got a full load of stuff and maybe I've got a bunch of produce that, I haven't grown in my own garden, can't grow bananas and things like that. In Seattle, it's no can do. But if I've got a bunch of stuff that's going to be weird to scan, I want the guy to do it. I want the gal to do it. I don't want to have to, I'm just not that efficient at scanning, right? So if it comes down to 20 items, that gets a little tricky. Most of the time, if I'm in the self-checkout, I'm at 20 items or less. I'm at like a couple, right? The move has drawn criticism from some customers who want to buy full baskets of groceries, from produce to packaged foods, he added, and then check it out themselves. Okay? I mean, if that's what you're into, I always marvel at the people at Trader Joe's at how much they can get into one bag. I'm like, all right. And they'll say, do you need a bag? Cause now they charge 8 cents a bag here in Washington State. Yeah. Epic. I mean, it's, we're doing great things here. I mean, it used to be free, and it's also made out of, renewable sources. So what are we doing? We're trying to go to make everybody bring these ridiculous bags. Just more and more stuff falls on us as a consumer. Yeah, you got to go get a guy to get your stuff out. Yeah, you got to bring your own bags. Yeah, you got to check out your own groceries. And now Giant is saying, all right, we're probably going to close some stores down. We used to allow full baskets, Crest said. We now limit that to 20 items. That sucks. Giant did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment on Crest's remarks. So your CEO said this? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Yeah, they're telegraphing that they're going to close down some stores. Got some stores that are not profitable. We had the Walmart stores in Chicago, and after their tax incentive expired December of 2022, that kind of coincided with closing down a few of those bad boys, namely 4 in a pretty small area of Chicago. Just, yeah, you guys steal too much. We're shutting these stores down. People in the communities get, worked up, but I would too. If I am a tax-paying citizen and I am spending my money within the community and somebody shuts a store down because these other knuckleheads in my community are stealing from it, that's a tough go. But it takes all of the locals to vote for all this stuff, where you've got situations where people are just buying, stealing stuff left and right. Last fall, a security guard and a shoplifting suspect both died after exchanging gunfire at a Giant supermarket just south of Washington, D.C. in Maryland. Not shocking that it's in D.C., right? Not shocking. No, not shocking. So speaking to News 4 on Monday, Crest said that rates of shoplifting at Giant have probably increased 5 to 10 times in the last 3 years. 5 to 10 times over 3 years. That's a massive increase. It's a massive increase. So, they're going to be closing down the worst of the stores. And then people are going to bitch about being in a food desert because they're not going to have enough grocery stores around. Right? The grocery chain is one of many retailers that have warned about store closures and other measures due to theft at their stores. Last year, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said that the retailer could close stores or raise prices if theft continued. And they had already been in the plans. They already had it in the works. But they closed down a bunch of stores that were so clearly in economically disadvantaged areas. How about we say that, right? They say that experienced a ton of shoplifting. And, when somebody gets killed at your store, safety tends to come up as an issue, right? In San Francisco, Amazon-owned Whole Foods shuttered her store just a year after it opened. We've talked about that many, many, many times. I'm not going to get into it, but 568 911 calls. We need that on a t-shirt or something. The grocery chain pointed to issues that menaced workers at the stores, which the New York Times reported, including assaults and drug use by patrons. I don't know if I would call shoplifters on drugs patrons, but I get what you're hinting at there. And, one of the patrons had to be wheeled out with a sheet over them because they were dead from a drug overdose. There's that in that Whole Foods store. Yeah. Safety issues. I'm having a tough time. But some retailers have admitted that they have exaggerated their problems with theft. After Walgreens closed 5 stores in San Fran and cited shoplifting as the reason, the company's CFO said earlier this year that the company cried too much about the problem. I don't think you cried too much at all. I think you just kind of backpedaled because somebody said, hey, you need to shut the F up about the whole safety in grocery stores. Nobody's going to want to come. They can get all their stuff from Amazon. They can get all their stuff online. They don't need to come to our grocery store. So just be a little bit more quiet. Okay. Yeah. I think we cried too much about it. That's literally the way I feel. CEO of Walgreens said after that. But yeah, we've got stores closing on the regular. And when a CEO comes right out and says something like this, that is usually a precursor to, all right, the worst of the stores, you got public safety issues, and then you got shoplifting on top of that, and these stores aren't making a profit. The CEOs will come out and the managers will come out and say, we thought long and hard about this, and this is not an easy decision. We've closed this store down. Keep shopping at our other stores in the area that aren't quite as bad as far as their shoplifting and crime. They're not being, handpicked over by the shoplifters on drugs as much. So continue shopping with us, or go to, nameofstore.com and join us online for our fine shopping experience there as well. So expect to see a bunch of that from Giant Foods. I mean, this is just, he's literally saying this is going to happen. This is going to happen. So expect that to happen. All right. I'm going to read a second story here. We're going to go twofer. We got a twofer, but before we do that, check out our merch online. Should be a link in the description below. This coffee cup is got a box for Democrat, got a box for Republican. Then you got a checked box for reasonable human being. Because if you're watching this show, you're a reasonable human being. You need one of these mugs. Not as funny as some of the other mugs. Oh, and we've got the Seattle Real Estate Podcast, vintage. We're going to make that a little bit bigger. We're working with the new vendor to kind of get some of this stuff squared away. When I die, don't let me vote Democrat. Kind of that word play on words of, I had the whole, that guy voted. He's dead. How'd that happen? Who'd he vote for? Well, not Trump, but that was wild, right? He voted. He's dead. Grocery store chain prompts customers to donate to DEI awareness. Yeah. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is so overblown. This is what's behind the DEI. This is what's behind all these major companies just doing these terrible marketing campaigns. I mean, Target doing the trans bathing suit so you can hide your junk if you're a little kid and you're, transitioning to a different sex. One of the things I saw yesterday was, it's like the 6-year-old kid looking at the camera going, I can't dictate my own bedtime, but I can dictate which sex I am. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Then you've got the whole issue of people running around naked on the streets during Pride, and you got kids there. If a kid was naked for 2 minutes on the street like these adults are, Child Protective Services would be out there in a heartbeat, right? Somebody would say, oh, there's a new child over there. What's going on? So kids can't do it, but adults can, and nobody's being, arrested or violation of code. It's like, all of a sudden it's just, just being naked and, all this crazy stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. It's because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Several prominent American brands have received backlash for embracing controversial woke political ideology in business. This grocery store, this is in Washington State. This is my hometown. This is my state. And I'm so proud of them. We've got a grocery store chain is prompting its customers to donate to raise awareness for diversity, equity, and inclusion. The best thing we can do for diversity, equity, and inclusion is just kind of pretend that whole thing doesn't need to be there and just move on with our lives and accomplish what you need to. And if somebody is a different race or whatever, I don't think we need to go out of our way to point it out. Racism. Racist. It has the opposite effect, doesn't it? So this whole thing to me is just an enormous waste of time. That's what it is. Fox News Digital obtained photographs of a self-checkout line at Hagen. It's a grocery store chain owned by produce giant Albertsons that prompted customers to donate money to raise DEI awareness. Would you like to donate to that? No. We're not. You don't need that. We're having this stuff shoved down our throats. We do not need to donate money to some cause that's going to raise DEI awareness. It's just ridiculous. And getting that DEI score up, who cares? Who cares? Yeah. But these big companies do, because they're being judged on their DEI scores, right? That's what prompts a Target to sell a trans bathing suit, or Bud Light to market Dylan Mulvaney of their own, his own, I don't even know what you call that dudette, whatever she is, with her image on a Bud Light can. I mean, can you think of a worse marketing campaign? I can't. That one was just horrible. Horrible. Would you like to donate to help advocate for DEI awareness? The screen displays prompting donations of $1, $3, $5, and other amounts, while also allowing shoppers to opt out. That's where I would be. I would be opting out on that bad boy. I would be pissed. No, we don't need to do that. No, I always say no on that stuff, because I always figure that most of those causes are a scam. Behind the self-checkout kiosk is a sign advertising Hagen's own charity, the Hagen Foundation, telling customers that from June 14th to August 8th, they can donate at any register to support organizations that make positive social changes to ensure all community members live a healthy and fully inclusive life. All that is virtual signaling, because you're not really doing anything. And if you're hiring people based on their race, then that is in essence racist. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. How'd that person get that? Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. They weren't necessarily the best worker. They weren't necessarily the hardest worker. They didn't have the best schooling. They don't really produce that much. Not much going on there. How'd they get that job? Weird, right? According to the Hagen Foundation website, the DEI donation campaign benefits several charities, including the American Cancer Society, as well as organizations supporting people with mental disabilities like Chinook Enterprises and Faces Northwest. However, the website also notes the DEI donation campaign benefits charities supporting woke policies, including the Northwest Justice Project, which seeks to challenge structural and racial inequities to promote the long-term well-being of low-income individuals, families, and communities across Washington state. All right. Okay. Yeah. As a dynamic statewide law firm, we pursue our mission through legal advice and representation, community partnerships, and education to empower clients and combat injustice in all of its forms. Injustice is out there for everybody. And this whole notion that, we need to really work to get this going. Anything that is government driven that, is indicating we're combating racial injustice in all of its forms, that's just not going to work, because it's the government doing it, right? They can't get anything right. Just any form that they've got going on. And then a lot of these justice projects, those to me are just borderline communism or, socialism or some crazy thing. That's the road that they go down. They go down these far left extremist, pathways. And you're like, what? Why would I want to donate towards that? NJP endorses and is signed on to the principles and commitments of the Race, Equity, and Justice Initiative. That's the REJI. We got so many acronyms now. More information about the initiative, whatever. Last year, the same Hagen Foundation also supported some DEI organizations. So they're trying to get us to, donate our hard-earned money towards these causes that don't really do anything. They battle oppression, discrimination, and inequity. All right. So you donate to somebody, and how are they, are they going to run a radio ad? Are they going to run a print ad? Are they going to run ads online? We're seeing them all the time, right? It's just being shoved down our throats. Best thing we can do is just, you see somebody that a little different skin color than you, don't say a damn thing and just treat them like normal. That's the way it should be, right? You should be a reasonable human being. All of this stuff that's just pointing out racism is everywhere. Inequity is everywhere. It's systemic. Really? Huh. All right. Why don't you show me? That's what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, Albertsons and Hagen's and got a bunch of woke grocery stores here in Washington State. I mean, do you expect anything less? If we didn't have woke grocery stores here in Washington State, what would we even be doing, right? You imagine going in, there's a big flag in front of your grocery store. They're making fun of Bud Light out front, and just maybe you got some I don't know. I don't know what a right wing item at a grocery store would be. But meat, how about meat? No soy products, none of that, none of this seed oil nonsense, just a bunch of, manly stuff at your grocery store. And, they ask you if you want a small flag when you leave. You know what I mean? You celebrate 4th of July? Because we're not seeing any of that anymore, are we? It's just non-patriotic flag. No, hell no. That's those right wingers over there. They got flags in their trucks. We're not doing it as a result. I still fly a flag. I fly 2 flags on my boat. Yeah. Because tents don't float. All right. That's it for me on this one, this twofer. Thanks for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.